Good evening, race fans, and welcome to round number 3 of the Mtn Dew Modified Tour. And it looks like my software decided that it did not want to save all the changes that I made prior to make sure that everything here is supposed to be correct. But the league sponsorship that you see in the left, or the current season that we're on, is not the Frito-Lay Super Late Model Series. It is the Mtn Dew Modified Tour. And I apologize for that. That is a little confusing, but we're going to get with it. We're going to keep on rolling here. Drivers are currently getting their qualifying wrapped up here. They're getting their 2 laps that they are going to have able to do here tonight. And we are going to have dual features as well, meaning it's going to be essentially one giant heat race for the first feature, being 20 laps around this half-mile track here at Stafford Motor Speedway. And then our final feature for the night will be a 40-lap battle to see who is going to take away the win tonight. My name is Mason Heimball with Team Goon Squad, bringing you tonight's action, 1080p, 60 frames a second as always. I hope you all are excited for tonight's action. More open wheel NASCAR Welland greatness on short tracks. It's going to be a fantastic race here, and as our drivers get themselves wrapped up for qualifying, we're going to see if we can take a look at some of the drivers that are currently making their way around the track as we speak. Right now on your screen, that's going to be John Sinu in the number 86 making his way around the track for the first few times here. Now, I am noticing that this really didn't save anything from last time, and I am a little confused by that. That is very strange. Okay, well, hopefully we'll get that fixed for next time, but just so everyone is aware, this is the Mtn Dew Modified Tour, proudly brought to you by Tagare Property Management. Always have to give them a shout out, as they are the primary sponsor for this series here this year, for the American Sim Racing Club for this series. They have been quite the excellent helping hand for the American Sim Racing Club in their other series that they've supported them in as well. So it's great to have them here for the Mtn Dew Modified Tour and to have all of these drivers here. And it looks like we just have about 30 seconds left here in qualifying. No one is on the track currently. So essentially we're just waiting for the time to tick down as we are waiting for that to happen. We're going to talk a little bit about what we expect to see here tonight. Now, if you weren't here for last week, you would have saw Brett Hahn take away the win at, oh geez, it's actually evading me what track we were, because we had a little bit of confusion with the, as actually we're going to have our drivers lining up here. We're going to go into our grid and talk about who is on our grid tonight, if it wants to show up for me. All right, looks like our grid does not want to show up for us tonight here for some strange reason. That is a little strange, but we're going to try and run through here real quickly before we get into the action. Brian Bianchi in first, Charles Darling in second, David Payton in third, Eric Hahn in fourth, Zach Heiser in fifth, Al Smith Jr. in sixth, Eric Papanow in seventh, Brandon Campbell in eighth, Nick Fleury in ninth, Rex Hoyle in 10th, Brett Hahn in 11th, Ryan Libby in 12th, Billy Thomas in 13th, Andrew Jessen in 14th, Noah Voucher in 15th, John Sinu in 16th, John Kane in 17th, Nathan Henry in 18th, Bob Rogerson in 19th, Andrew Payne in 20th, Andrew Burr in 21st, Garrett Austin in 22nd, and John DeMeester in 23rd is going to round out your grid here. And I'm going to quickly figure out if I can resolve what is going on here on my end and provide a little bit of a better broadcast, because this seems to be that this is just not wanting to cooperate with me whatsoever. So we're going to figure that out here real quick before we get things started for our first feature here, and hopefully get things rocking and rolling here. Alrighty. Now, hopefully that is all correct on your screen. Alright. I hope I have everything fixed now. At least to some extent. The logos are still incorrect, but we're kind of taking things on a little bit of a different ride here. We're doing things on the fly. Not usually how I prefer to do things, but sometimes you get a curveball thrown at you, and that's just what you have to do. And that's sometimes what happens here, even in real life racing and sim racing as well. So that is just what we're going to have to deal with here in the booth, but I'm going to try and make the action as exciting as possible for everyone at home as drivers make their way around the track for a very quick lap around the track before the pace car dives in, and we see our first lap here at Stafford. I believe we're going to see the pace car take one more lap around the track here with the rest of the field. And we are going to get rocking and rolling here. And as I was alluding to before, we had a little bit of confusion with what track we were actually on last week. Because last week we were at Martinsville. And according to my notes, it was round 3 that we were supposed to be at Martinsville and not round 2. So things got a little confusing there, but now that we've got that all out of the way and taken care of, we are now here at Stafford for round number 3. And to see who is going to take away the win tonight. Will it be Brett Hahn, a driver that we have seen do this prior last week? He took a second place win, or a second place podium on the first race, and there we go. Pace car diving down into pit road, and we are going to take our first few laps here around Stafford. And here we go with Brian Bianchi in the number 50 in the lead currently, doing a very impressive job as well. You can see right there, he's got quite the gap in front of him now, building nearly a half a gap between himself and David Payton. And you can see David Payton even... Oh, we have carnage ensuing in the back of the field. We also have a little bit of sound issues that we're going to quickly take care of as well. So we are going to see exactly what happened on that yellow flag. Let's take things back here into slow motion and see. And actually, that is going to be the incorrect angle that we want. Let's back things up there just a little tiny bit here. Go a little bit wider in view. Oh, and you can see the 25 of Nick Fleury getting touched on the right-hand side there, sending him sideways, as well as another driver who I can't see the number of on the top side of his vehicle. Gonna send it back, get it towed back into pit road, get things sorted back out here. Yellow flag, the first one here at Stafford for our heat, or our first dual feature of the night. We're gonna take things back into the live action here. You can see on your screen Brandon Campbell currently in pit road. That is going to be the driver that found himself topside down in the 099 machine. He's going to be in pit road here for probably some time. Definitely not the place that he wants to be in, probably, but unfortunately that's just the nature of racing. That's what we all come here to do and come here to watch. And unfortunately sometimes you're the driver that draws the unlucky straw. But right now, Charles Darling in the number 88, I'm going to be on the outside of Brian Bianchi in the 50. On the starting row here, taking our second attempt here at our first feature of the race. And there it goes, pace car into pit road. A green flag is going to fly here as the drivers come around into the front stretch. And there he goes, Brian Bianchi in the number 50, taking it away from the rest of the field here. David Payton going to be side by side now with Charles Darling going in and out of turn 3 and 4. Looks like David Payton in that 38 is going to get a little bit away from Charles Darling in that number 88. You can see Charles falling behind the number 38 of David Payton. David trying all he can to catch up to the field here now. We are seeing some excellent racing happening here up in the front of the field. And if we take an even little bit further look back in the field, you can see Zach Heiser in the 14 also doing a great job. And our second yellow flag is going to fly here. Looks like Nick Fleury in the number 25 going to be involved here again. Let's see exactly what happens here. And we're currently looking at Zach Heiser. There it is. That is the incident that we were looking for. Let's back things up here just a little bit to see what exactly happens and maybe even ride on board here for just a moment. Let's see exactly what happens here with Nick Fleury in the number 25 machine. Oh, he just takes a tap. It looks like possibly Brett Hahn, maybe? Yeah, Brett Hahn looked a little bit too... Well, no, now that I'm looking at that, that seems like it might be a little case. Let's see what angle we can get here. Let's take things slow motion. Brett Hahn coming in behind the 20. Oh, it actually wasn't from Brett Hahn. It was from the 985 behind him. That's going to be Bob Rogerson. Let's take a little bit closer look here one more time while we still have time here before the green flag flies again. If we can get, let's look at, oh, no, that's not what I wanted. Bob Rogerson, that's who I want to see. Yeah, it could have been a little bit of netcode. Yeah, could have been a couple different things there. It seemed like Bob got a little bit close to the back of Nick Fleury there. It might have got into him, but it also seems like it could have been netcode as well. Very, very possible. Either one of those options I think is valid. But either way, we are still going to be going here. We're going to be racing single file on this restart here. Brian Bianchi in the number 50 taking the lead in front of David Payton. He's going to be holding up the field there. You can hear, oh, and we already have a car wrecking. Al Smith Jr. in the number 96 going to be taking it down the infield. But we are still green, still racing. Let's hope that, let's hope he can get back onto the track safely before the rest of the field catches up to him. Brian Bianchi in the 50 still leading, with David Payton in the number 38 behind him and Charles Darling in third. Right now, 16 laps left to go. Let's see if we can keep this green here and give these guys a solid chance at a good run and see what these guys can actually do in a little bit more solid laps, I should say, without the field bunching up as much as it was before. And we still have a lot of cars that are still quite close to one another. If we go back a little bit further in the field, kind of using Noah Voucher as a reference point in the number 16 machine. Right now he's kind of in his lonesome, but you can look behind him just how many cars are forming behind him. You got a couple cars going too wide there, fighting for spots as well. 14 laps left to go here in this heat/feature, in this dual feature tonight here at Stafford. Things are going to be relatively quick here with a total of 60 laps that we're going to be taking here at Stafford. Things are not going to be terribly long, so drivers are going to have to take advantage of the time that they have and really push as hard as they possibly can to get whatever position is available to them. Now, you might not always be in the best opportunistic spot to gain positions, but when the opportunity is there, you definitely want to try and take it, because the window is not going to be there for very long. Noah Voucher is one of the drivers here that is looking very, very promising coming up from the rear of the field, I should say. He's currently 8th where he's at now. He started 7th. Now, I'm sure that the little kerfluffle that we had at the beginning of that last restart might have played in his advantage a little bit. Looking behind him, the number 93 of Andrew Payne is another driver that is working his way through the field impressively as well, up 10 positions from where he started. He's got John Kane behind him, pushing a little aggressively, as well as Bob Rogerson in that 985. So a lot of these guys that are starting sort of the middle of the field, I should say, and we only have 23 drivers present tonight, one of which is still in pit road after that, after he found himself topside down. That's going to be Brandon Campbell in the 099. If luckily, Brandon will be able to join us again for the second feature, if I'm not mistaken. He should have a fresh vehicle by that point in time, so he might just might find himself just starting from the rear and having to work his way that way, which is another viable option, as we're seeing it is possible from Andrew Payne. Now, as I say that, we have another caution fly on the track. John DeMeester seems to be the one involved here. Let's see if we can take a look at what happens here. The number 2 machine, John DeMeester, on the outside. I believe that's going to be the number 8. We're going to take things, we're going to rewind things here just a little bit and get a better idea of what exactly happens here. You can see John DeMeester getting on the wall. Touches the, I believe that's, hang on a second here. Now, what number is that? Is that a 9? That is a 9. Okay, okay. Anyway, moving forward. So, it looks like John DeMeester got pinched a little bit. Let's, I want to take one more look at this. I apologize, everyone. I was so confused by this 6 that looks like a 6, but is actually a 9. I'm sorry. Anyway. Yeah, so it looks like the number 9 of Billy Thomas, I believe. No, that's not Billy Thomas. Who is that? Anyway, yeah, it looks like John DeMeester just got a little too close, found himself smacked into the wall. Joseph Penn in chat. Gotta love seeing my home oval getting some use on iRacing. Well, Penn, this one's for you, buddy. And we already have a car spinning out as we went green flag once again. Let's. I just want to see that. What happened? What happened here? Let's. Okay, so we have a car spinning out in front of us, the number 54 of Rex Hoyle. Looks like he might have, yeah, he looks like he just got a little too close. Oh, no, he actually got tapped. Just slightly from the 16 down on his inside. From Noah Voucher. Just got a little bit too close to one another. Probably didn't realize how much space he had there. Very, very tough thing to call here in these cars. There's not a whole lot of viewing angle when you're in the driver's seat of these vehicles. If we're gonna ride on board here with Andrew Payne, you can kind of see. Now we're cheating a little bit with how cameras work and camera angles and all that, but there's not a whole lot of you can't really see anything behind you. You have a rear view on the driver's side. That's not really really all that helpful. It's a very small mirror, and it's not very useful, if at all. You do have the big rear view looking behind you, but it doesn't always help. There's a car on your downside here, but we are going to be racing here once again. Brian Bianchi still leading out in the front of the field here. David Payton in second as well, and Charles Darling still in third place. Well, these guys have been duking it out this entire time, and I say duking it out very lightly here. Brian Bianchi has been crushing this first feature race here tonight, very impressively. David Payton has been putting up a fight, as well as Charles Darling is just trying to stay on that chase, but I think at this point, the 38 and the 88 are both probably in the consensus that there's no reason to try and chase down the 50 of Brian Bianchi right now. Just let him get his first his first place start, and then really put the pedal to the metal down in that second feature where it's going to matter. This is a more or less a qualifier for our second feature here, and we already have done our qualifying, but this will kind of set the field for how we go into our main feature. Let's see how things go here with 3 laps left to go here. We still have battles happening behind the guys in the top 3 right now. Eric Hahn in 6th place currently, the brother of Brett Hahn in that 7-Eleven on the outside of Andrew Payne. Andrew Payne's going to get his way around, and it looks like Eric's going to fall a little bit behind, but right now he's going to defend it from John Kane. Number 29, the final lap. Here we go. Let's see what these guys are able to pull off here and where they're going to find themselves here on the grid. Ryan Bianchi, David Payton, and Charles Darling still out. First, second, and third place respectively. Charles Darling looking to try and maybe make some action happen here on the final stretch here. Oh no, and as I say that, oh no, I think he got across the line. He got across the line as he was crashing for third place. Oh no. Okay, I don't even have time to go over who placed where. We're gonna have a 5-minute warm-up as drivers are gonna have an opportunity to get warmed up, get themselves ready here. We're gonna see if we can have a quick word with some of these drivers here that we saw just now. Charles Darling is the first man that I want to have a word with in the number 88. Charles, sir, do you have a read?
I gotcha.
Charles, everything was looking very great there. What happened as you were coming across the final the front stretch? You got into the wall there a little bit, but you still made it across the checkered line for third. So that's good. But what happened?
Well, I got a little over anxious, to be honest. I knew Zach was right on my tail, and I'm not one of the guys that can sit there and ride single file, so I tried to make the outside work, and I just washed up a little too far, caught the fence with the right rear tire, and sent it into the wall. I figured if I hit it part way and stayed in the gas, I might still get third, so all's good there, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, going into the main feature, the final feature of the night, 40 laps. So I mean, we're only doing double what we just did. With what we just saw already, with how many cautions we saw, what are you kind of thinking is going to happen here in this final feature?
Well, I'm glad that I'm lining up on the inside, but you know, anything can happen. I'm gonna knock on wood, knocking on my desk right now, that I have better luck than I have been. But, you know, great competition out here at ASRC. You know, I love running with these guys. I'm just hoping that we don't get as many cautions. We get some long green flag runs in to kind of settle everything down.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more, Charles. Good luck to you out there, Charles, and hopefully we can have a similar conversation at the end of the night.
All right. Good talking to you, Mason. Thanks.
You're welcome, Chuck. Have a great one, and have a good race.
Thank you.
All right, everyone, that's going to be Charles Darling, the number 88, out of the booth. He will place third in that first feature of the night. And second place, we are going to have, if I'm not mistaken, one David Payton in the number 38 machine. Let's see if we can get him down here for a quick word. Mr. David, can you read me?
Yeah, I got you, Mason.
David, you placed second in that first feature of the night. We had quite the interesting start to the night. What are you expecting going into this main feature?
Well, that's a good question, Mason. I mean, I think hopefully guys kind of settle down a little bit. I know there was some problems on restarts and stuff, people being a little antsy. And it's a short race, so I don't know. We may get a little bit more of the same, but I'm just happy that got lucky on an invert, and then was able to keep it out front. And hopefully I start in front of the carnage tonight instead of behind it like I usually do.
Yeah, absolutely. It was looking very solid in that 38, David. You're looking very promising out there. Starting out in second, we only got 40 laps to do in this main feature, so all you got to do is, well, you know what to do. You're the driver. I'll let you do the driving. But, David, good luck to you tonight. I hope that we have the similar conversations tonight, and hopefully get to see you out on podium again. And good luck to you out there, David.
Yeah, I hope to talk to you again too, Mason. You got about a minute if you want to grab the heat first race winner. So I'll let you go. Thanks for the interview.
Absolutely, David. You have a good one. All right, out of the booth is David Payton. We are going to quickly grab Brian Bianchi if I can find him. There he is. All right, let's grab him down here really quickly. Brian, sir, can you read me?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
I am doing fantastic. Real quickly here before we get into the main feature, you had a very, very solid performance here in this first start of our features tonight. What are you feeling going forward? Are you expecting another win tonight?
I mean, I feel pretty confident. This is one of my favorite tracks. It's my home track, the one I go to on Friday night. So I kind of know this place. I'm probably not the fastest, but I think it's going to be hard to get around me.
Absolutely, Brian. Good luck to you. We're going to get started here. I hope to get to talk to you again tonight, Brian. Good luck out there.
All right. Thank you.
All right, everyone. That's Brian Bianchi in the number 50 out of the booth. And, well, if you're looking on screen right now and wondering why it says lap 32,728, that is a very good question. I don't know. I was attempting to show the grid for today, or for this second feature, but it looks like it's not wanting to work for me again. So we're going to run through it here very, very quickly. Brian Bianchi in first, David Payton in second, rounding out your first row. Charles Darling in second, Zach Heiser in fourth, Eric Papanow in fifth, Andrew Payne in sixth, Eric Hahn in seventh, John Kane in eighth, Brett Hahn in ninth, Billy Thomas in 10th, Ryan Libby in 11th, Bob Rogerson in 12th, John Sinu in 13th, Andrew Burr in 14th, Andrew Jessen in 15th, Nick Fleury in 16th, Al Smith Jr. in 17th, Rex Hoyle in 18th. Oh boy, my whole thing just, okay, all right, Al Smith Jr. in 17th, Garrett Austin in 18th, Nathan Henry in 19th, Brandon Campbell 20th, Noah Boucher 21st, John DeMeester 22nd, Andrew Burr in 23rd. Okay, we got things mixed up there a little bit. My timing decided to refresh on me. I apologize if I did not name a driver that you're watching tonight. Things have been very, very interesting in the booth tonight. We've had a multitude of technical difficulties that we are actively working through. One of which being the fact that it still shows the Frito-Lay Super Late Model Touring Series, which was a great series. If you did not catch that, you should go back on Team Goon Squad channel and check some of that out. It's great action, great racing that from all these drivers here. But this is for the Mtn Dew Modified Tour, proudly brought to you by Tagare Property Management. And these are definitely not super late models. I can assure you that much. But we are going to take things around here, round with the pace car, before we start our first lap of the main feature tonight. 40 laps of racing here at Stafford. And to determine a winner for round number 3 of the Mtn Dew Modified Tour, brought to you by Tagare Property Management. We've had quite a lot of drivers show that they are more than capable of winning a race here. And as we get ready to take our first lap and the green flag flies, Brian Bianchi is going to launch on the field here once again, as he did in the first feature of the night. David Payton going to follow behind in second place. Charles Darling is going to be chased by the number 14 of Zach Heiser for fourth place. We have drivers all over the place. You can see Zach Heiser going a little bit wide there. The 88 of Charles Darling following in third place. 93 of Andrew Payne dropping in behind Zach Heiser in that 14, but now he's going to be behind Charles Darling now, leaving Zach Heiser on the outside. Oh, we have a driver down low as well, falling behind just a little bit. Not sure who that was. I wasn't able to catch the number on that car. Andrew Payne now is going to be trying to take a dive on the number 88 of Charles Darling here to see if he can stick with it and make it happen. Looking back in the field as well, the 43 of Eric Papanow currently in fifth place. Going to be trying to find his way up into the top three here, as he's already cracked the top five. He started in fifth position today for this main feature. All he has to do now is catch up to Andrew Payne in that number 93. See what he can possibly do up there. Looking even further back, we have Brett Hahn, the brother of one Eric Hahn. Both of these drivers very close to one another. Brett in seventh, Eric in ninth. Brett right now chasing the 14 of Zach Heiser down as quickly as he can. And we've seen Brett Hahn, a very, very dominant driver in the super late models series, come here, and he's found, well, I'm sure that probably not to a surprise that there's quite a few drivers here that are very, very impressive as well. And it's going to be exciting to see Brett Hahn work his way through this series and see how he performs here with these open wheel modified vehicles here. Always great racing to see from all of these drivers here on track. The American Sim Racing Club always brings great action week in and week out. Lap 70 of 40 here. Everything is looking relatively calm so far here on track for a lot of these guys, as you can see on your screen. A lot of these guys falling into single file, especially as you go towards the front of the track, it seems like, with a couple drivers wanting to go side by side to maybe take an overtake if possible, and there's really not a whole lot of opportunity to do so. You have to time it perfectly. You have to make it work, as so it would seem. Ryan Libby in the number 82 right now in 8th place, following behind the 71 of Brett Hahn. You can see there on the outside, Charles Darling in that number 88, going to be on the outside of Zach Heiser in the 14. Battling it out right now for 5th place currently. Brett Hahn now going to be following in that stream as well. You can see here all of these guys getting fairly close to one another. And lap 11 of 40, time is ticking away, so you want to take that opportunity as quickly as you can. And these guys are not afraid to do that here. Right there you can see Brett Hahn able to overtake Ryan Libby there. Actually, I say that he was already in front of Ryan Libby. That was a mistake on my end. I apologize. I was looking for Charles Darling, is who I'm looking for Brett Hahn to overtake here, as he's getting very, very extremely close to the rear of that 88 to see if he can make an overtake here whenever possible. And looking even, just checking back here and kind of towards the back of the field here. It would seem like the driver I was looking for might not be on track at the moment. Anywho, the 29 of John Kane right now is going to be followed by Al Smith Jr. in the 96 for 11th place currently. And Al Smith is looking to dive down onto that inside, possibly even make a pass here. Looks like he might even be able to do so. John Kane finding himself down on the outside on the front stretch, not able to keep up with the speed of Al Smith Jr. Oh, and we have a driver down in, find himself down into pit road. That's going to be 25 of Nick Fleury. Got a little loose there. Find himself driving back down into pit road and coming back out again onto the track. That's just the nature of these cars. These are very, very, can be very, very tricky cars on these tracks. They like to get away from you sometimes, especially if you're like me and not very experienced with them. when you're trying to put some laps down in the car that you haven't really ever put too much time in before. But checking back in with our leader, Brian Bianchi, in the number 50, he's being chased closely by the 38 of David Payton, as well as Andrew Payne following behind in third place. Andrew has done a fantastic job of working his way up into the front of the field. So we're seeing great work happening from the 93, the 38 as well, just trying to keep up with the 50 of Brian here, who is looking to potentially take away a win here, as we are 2 laps away from that halfway mark of finishing this race here. And like I said, folks, it was going to blink. The race was going to blink by here. It wasn't going to last very long. It's going to be relatively short here tonight. But that is the nature of short track racing. And that is what makes things even more interesting, I would say. Not having a whole lot of time to battle it out for positions, only having really one shot and one opportunity to make it work. That is the real challenge here, and that is what proves the skill of a lot of these drivers. Able to come in and place, whether it's top 3, top 5, or even the top 10. That proves your skill one way or another. Right now, David Payton and Andrew Payne are looking to try and do what they can to get a little bit more speed around the 50 of Brian Bianchi. And even Brian said he felt like he didn't have quite the speed of everyone else on track, but here he is with nearly 0.3 of a second between himself and David Payton. Now, that doesn't seem like a lot, but it hasn't closed. And it doesn't seem like it's going to close anytime soon here. With 17 laps left to go, something's gonna have to happen here for the 38 and the 93 to be able to make something happen here for the 50. But Eric Papanow is now closing in on the mix here, as we have our first yellow flag of the race, of their main feature tonight. Let's see what happens here. Let's take things into slow motion. Back things up here a little bit. Looks like this was with one Al Smith Jr. I see smoke in front. Okay. All right. Looks like the 14 gets involved. Zach Heiser. So let's back things up from here. This isn't always a perfect science, everyone watching at home. Sometimes you have to figure it out manually. The computer doesn't always tell you exactly what you want here. And as I was talking, I missed my mark. Let's back things up here one more time. So the 46 just taps the left rear, the 14 of Zach Heiser. Brett Hahn not able to get anywhere as well. He's locking up those brakes. Gets involved as well. Charles Darling not able to find a way out either. It looks like he's going to make it out okay. Brett Hahn as well. Going to escape from that one. But Zach Heiser in the 46 of... Let me see who that was here. Not actually able to see who that is. Someone has a different number than what they're using. All right. That's all right. With 16 laps left to go here, there's not a whole lot of time left for these drivers to really make an opportunity to make something happen here. So it's going to have to be now or never. 16 laps in, the green flag is about to fly here once again. And here we go. Brian Bianchi out in the front of the field doing a fantastic job, just leading from the front as he's done here this entire night. Right now, Andrew Payne is going to be in second place now as well, overtaking David Payton for that second place position. But Eric Papineau is looking to make that an even worse loss here, as Eric is looking down on the inside of David Payton in the 38. David on the outside of Eric Papineau, not able to defend in any way. He has Brett Hahn following behind him as well, down on the inside. Oh no, David Payton's not going to have a whole lot. Oh, there he goes. He gets a quick little defensive move there to block the 96 of Al Smith Jr. from overtaking him, but he's not quite successful in doing so. He still has Charles Darling as well behind him. David just trying to defend positions now. 13 laps left to go here. Oh, it's not looking very promising for David. This is not the restart that he was going to be looking for. I'm certain that's going to be quite painful for the 38. There he is, a successful block there, getting out in front of the 88 of Charles Darling, not letting him get by, losing any more positions. So now he's going to have to work his way back up the field. Only 11 laps left to go here. There's not a whole lot of time left to do that. But oh no, we have another yellow flag out on track. And as I say that too, there was a car that absolutely ate it. Looks like Brian Bianchi is going to be the... Oh. Let's... Coming down the front stretch into turn 1. You can see Andrew Payne just getting a little close. And oh, there it is. There it is, folks. So now, while it doesn't seem... Obviously, in real life, that wouldn't happen. But because of netcode, I believe that that iRacing decided that it was bound to happen anyway, just based on the trajectory of both cars and yada yada yada, science, math, blah blah blah. Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. That is definitely going to be a heartbreaker for Brian. Probably not going to be too happy about that one. It's going to set him back down into 12th place, behind the top 10. Not what we want to see here in the final few laps, especially when you're the driver who was the leader and gets tossed from the front from a situation like that. But with only 10 laps left to go here, folks, it's going to be now a question of survival, I would say. I think that a lot of drivers here, they might be getting a little antsy. I know in our brief interviews that we had with the drivers from the first feature, mentioned that drivers were getting a little squirrely out there, getting a little antsy. And to be fair, that's to be expected. There's definitely a lot of tension to try and win this series. There's a lot of great talent out on this field, and having to compete with them week in, week out, and knowing that this driver is going to be the guy that's going to be on my inside or my outside or on my tail or in front of me. Yeah, it definitely can have an effect on you, where it's just like, okay, what can I do here? And it can drive you to the point where you're starting to make more mistakes than you might typically do. And now for the incidents that we've seen, that's not always the case. Sometimes it's just iRacing being iRacing, and other times, yeah, it absolutely could be a situation where a driver is just a little too excited, little too ready to get the race done and over with. I've just realized as well, I've had the track map on forever. Not that it's a major issue. Anyway, we are going to go green flag here with Eric Papineau starting out in the front of the field. Going to take it away, as we were starting single file as well for that restart. That's going to play in the favor of the 43 of Eric Papineau, but on the tail of that 43, the 71 last week's winner, Brett Hahn in the 71 is going to be on the chase here. Going to try and get as close as he possibly can to that 43, and there he goes, getting very, very close, taking advantage of Eric Papineau getting a little bit wide there on that turn, as we have our third caution fly out onto the track here. We're going to see what we can see here. We're going to back things up here and figure out exactly where this incident happened. Oh! Well, there it is. The 985 gets up onto the wall in the front stretch, getting into the 16 of Noah Voucher. The 985 of Bob Rogerson spinning out. Noah Voucher not able to go anywhere, getting into the 34, I believe. Looks like the only two drivers going to be involved in that incident, it seems like. I also don't see a number 34. Very interesting. All right. And that's what's going to put up our third caution with 9 laps left to go here tonight. So, through all the kerfluffle, through all the uncertainty, we've had Brian Bianchi, who was, let's be honest, I would say Brian was probably the favorite to win tonight as far as who was showing the most promise, having led the most laps, excellent restarts. With all those things considered, I definitely thought Brian had it in the bag here, and just didn't seem to work out in his favor. As we're going to have the green flag fly here once again for another chance to finish it out here at Stafford. 8 laps left to go. Brett Hahn on the chase of Eric Papineau in the number 43. He's got to cut down about 0.3 of a second before he's able to overtake that number 43 for first place. Otherwise, Brett Hahn is going to find himself with another second place finish for this season, which frankly isn't a bad way to start the season if you ask me, especially after coming from a win last week at Oxford. Now Al Smith Jr. in third place in the number 96 has been on the chase for the top 3 here for quite some time and cracked into the top 3. Now he's third place on the chase of Brett Hahn. David Payton, another driver who was leading at least in the top 3 for quite a long time during this race, and found himself down into, I believe it was 6th place, worked his way up into 4th now behind Charles Darling. With 5 laps left to go here, it's uncertain whether Charles will be able to work his way back into 2nd where he initially was. 4 laps left to go here as we cross the line. That I don't think it's going to happen here, and that's very, very sad to say. David was having a very, very excellent race here, doing very, very impressively, leading in 2nd for quite some time. We saw a little bit of a slip up there from Charles Darling, tapped the wall for just a little bit. If you caught that on your screen, he got in to the wall on the front stretch, tapped into it, got a little loose going into turn 3 and 4, took turn 4 extremely wide to save it, kept it all together. He's still in 5th place, and he doesn't have a whole lot of people behind him, or around him rather. Oh no, and as I say that, we have cars crashing into one another. John Sinu in the 86 crashing into, I believe that was Zach Heiser in the 14. Oh, and our final lap here at Stafford. We're still racing. We're still going green. Everything is still on the line. Eric Papineau going to take it across the checkered line for first place, with Brett Hahn in 2nd place and Al Smith Jr. taking it home for 3rd. And that is going to wrap up round number 3 of the Mountain Dew Modified Tour, brought to you by Tagare Property Management. here with the American Sim Racing Club. What a race, folks. Honestly, that was interesting. From start to finish, we had a lot of just interesting changes throughout the race that definitely affected the outcome. But otherwise, it was a great race here tonight. And on a bright side, unlike the last two races that we've done here, our race results are working. That's great news. Eric Papanow in first place, Brett Hahn in second, Al Smith Jr. in third, David Payton in fourth, Charles Darling in fifth place, Eric Hahn in sixth, Brandon Campbell in seventh, Brian Bianchi in eighth, Andrew Payne in ninth, Nathan Henry in 10th, John Sinu in 11th, Andrew Jessen in 12th, Zach Heiser in 13th, Garrett Austin in 14th, John Kane in 15th, Nick Fleury in 16th, Bob Rogerson in 17th, Noah Boucher in 18th. There we go. And John DeMeester in 19th, Ryan Libby in 20th, Billy Thomas in 21st, Rex Hoyle in 22nd, and Andrew Burr in 23rd. All right, let's get on to our post-race interviews here today. First up, Al Smith Jr. in the number 96 is going to be our first driver that we are going to have a word with. Al, sir, do you have a read?
I gotcha.
Al, it was you had quite the race. I noticed that you were kind of floating in the top 10 there for quite some time. Just it seemed like you were just playing it safe, just playing it cautious, not really trying to get too aggressive with anyone, and it seemed to play in your favor, taking it home third place. How are you feeling tonight?
Yeah, I feel pretty good, to be honest with you. It was a little bit started deeper than I would have liked. We were running, I think, 6th or 7th in the first feature there, and that restart kind of jingles us up and kind of set our plans a little bit different for this 40-lap feature. And well, started out back and just methodically picked our way up through. The long green flag run was really good for us, and the boys had this car tuned up good for the long run for me.
Absolutely. It was looking very solid out on track. Now, given all the cautions, given all just kind of the uncertainty I think a lot of drivers possibly were feeling tonight, were you kind of expecting that, and was that definitely something that you were planning for, or was it something that you were just kind of playing it by ear?
Honestly, I was playing it by ear. This track is not historically one of my best. I really got to thank Andrew Payne. In practice, I let him go by, and I followed his line, and I picked up like 2/10. And I said, oh, that's how you get around Stafford. So I got to thank him for allowing me to follow him in practice, whether he wanted me to or not. But we had a good car, and got a couple of restarts there in our favor. But being an odd number, this track is just so tough to pass on, and it really takes a few laps to set someone up and figure out where maybe you are just a little bit better than they are, where you can get a run on them. And well, come home third. I'm not gonna be too upset about that after starting 17th here tonight.
Absolutely, yeah, that's definitely something to go home with a smile on your face with. Now, speaking of people to give a shout out to and thank, Al, is there anyone at home, anyone watching the broadcast that you want to say hello, give a shout out to before I let you go here tonight and celebrate?
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody at Race Inc. Justin, he's in the paint booth tonight, painting up my super late model for a race tomorrow night. And Doug Ungari, the Mountain Man, he's out there watching as well. So I want to thank my teammates there. I got to thank Captain Morgan. I'll maybe celebrate this podium with a little bit of that Captain Morgan apple that's on the car here tonight, and with some of that Schwepp. Definitely got to thank Mountain Dew for sponsoring this tour. The tour is going to be great. We're done for 2021, but we'll come back in 2022 and kick off the new year. Hopefully, maybe 2 spots better.
Absolutely, Al. Fantastic work tonight, and I look forward to seeing you in future races. Have a great night, Al, and hopefully we can have a future similar conversation again in the future.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys. Thanks for watching, everybody.
All right, Al. Thank you. All right, everyone. Al Smith Jr. in the number 96 out of the booth. Up next, we have Brett Hahn, the number 71 machine, our last week's race winner, and also our first race week's second place podium finisher. Brett, sir, do you have a read?
Yeah, I got you, Mason.
Brett, you started out the series finishing in second. You came into Oxford, took home first, and then this week you came home with second. How are you feeling right now, Brett?
Oh, pretty good, Mason. I'm glad we were able to keep this car in one piece and make it on through the field. We had that incident early on in the first feature, and that set us back even further. But yeah, glad we could get the 71 machine back on the podium, keep it there. Hopefully talk to you every race, Mason. But yeah, it was a stressful one, very short, so I had to be on the attack all night.
Yeah, absolutely. From the drivers that I talked to after the first feature, it definitely seemed like there was a lot of drivers that were just a little antsy, a little excited for this race. It seemed like, and it definitely showed. We had a lot of incidents happen out on track, and I believe you were involved in one of them in the final feature, and that seemed to set you back just a little bit. You were on track for first place, and then I think there was a car that got sideways, and you weren't able to find your way around him in time. Brett, what was it like on track? It was just carnage throughout the whole night. What was it like trying to deal with that?
Oh yeah, Mason, it was definitely very tough. I mean, a few laps before that, I almost wrecked all by myself going into one. I got on the brakes a little too hard, just past Chuck Darling, and had to spend all turn one saving it. I mean, car wanted left side, right side, left side. I was throwing the wheel all over, but luckily kept it in the right direction and saved it, but lost a few spots. And then, yeah, a few laps later, then the two guys get him tangled in front of me, and then, yeah, I just couldn't get through 3 and 4 after that the way I like to. It started becoming a real dump truck. I think maybe I was probably too aggressive on the throttle too, trying to get too much out of the car in the little amount of time I had left when I was trying to run down Papanow.
Now, with that in mind, going forward into the rest of the season, is that something you're going to try and work on? Is that something you think is going to be an issue, or is that just Stafford being Stafford?
Yeah, I think that's a little bit of Stafford being Stafford. In the first time of us all doing this dual feature event, everyone was on the go, so it definitely made passing very difficult, and especially at this track, the cars are so even that when you get a run, you got to take advantage of it and really be perfect with timing your passes. So that was definitely a tough place to do this at, but yeah, very, very thankful to bring it home in second.
Absolutely, Brett. I had a couple drivers towards the beginning that I thought were going to carry it through to the end, and that changed very quickly. So, Brett, it was very good to see you come out here and take a second place finish tonight. Now, before I let you go, is there anyone at home, anyone watching that you want to give a shout out to before I let you go and celebrate tonight?
Oh yeah, Mason, there's a whole bunch. First and foremost, of course, you and Team Goon Squad for putting on an awesome broadcast. Can't wait to go rewatch this on through. Look forward to the next week's race as well. Turn 3 Racing Network's on the car. Quick Time Motorsports Media, Roaster Chicken, all the Brett the Jet fans. Gotta thank my dad out there. I think he came in 6th tonight, so gotta give him a big shout out. Personal best for him out here. Of course, all the Brett the Jet fans out there. My grandma, Jacob, Justin, Miller, Janelle, all the names. My mom, dad, and then I believe that's about it. Of course, all the other racers. Papanow, awesome win here tonight, and yeah, all the admins here at ASRC to make things happen.
Absolutely, Brett. Thank you for coming out here and talking with me tonight, and excellent racing tonight, Brett. I believe this is our last race of 2021, so I will see you again in 2022, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, that is correct, Mason. So, yep, everyone have a happy holidays, and see you guys for the next year.
All right, Brett. Thank you for coming out here. Have a great night, Brett.
You too.
All right, everyone. That's Brett Hahn in the number 71 machine, taking it home for second place and wrapping up our interviews for tonight. It is going to be Eric Papanow in the number 43 Eric, sir, do you have a read?
Yes, sir.
I apologize for the little bit of way. I know when you're first place, it takes a little bit longer to get to your post race interview. I'm sure that you're ready to unwind after a stressful race.
Man, you have no idea how stressful that was the whole time. It was a blast tonight. Nerve-wracking there at the end, but it was just so much fun, and I'm glad I'm able to get a chance to talk to you before the final race of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a great first 3 races here. Honestly, I'm very excited to go into 2022, having seen everyone from the super late model series, yourself included, coming into open wheel racing on short track. It's really great to see a lot of new faces, a lot of familiar ones as well. And Eric, you're coming out here and you're starting to look very, very dominant out there on track. Given all of the circumstances that we saw tonight, just all the carnage, you managed to find your way up into first and kind of seemingly in the final hour, if you will. What was it like battling your way through that field and just trying to claw your way to first?
Just picking and choosing, knowing when to make a move, when not, and just trying to be patient with it. I mean, I hate the way that I got the lead in the end. I'm not going to deny that, but getting there is what I needed, because it was going to be hard to get around Brian and Andrew there, and I was worried about Brett. I'm not going to lie, he's always a challenge. Him and I have had some amazing battles in the past, so I was waiting for him to try and make a move somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. He was getting very, very close as well, and I think if it wasn't for the small incident that he saw himself in, that battle might have happened. And honestly, Eric, I think going into the rest of the season, there's quite a few drivers here, yourself, Brett included in that mix, as well as Al Smith Jr., even David Payton as well, who we saw fall back into the pack a little bit. All these drivers here, man, they're going to do a great job here in this season. I'm excited to see all the racing. Hopefully we get to see a little bit more green flag runs and guys start to clean it up a little bit and allow each other to have more consistent racing. But otherwise, Eric, having taken away a first place win and wrapping up the end of our season here, or, well, not the end of the season, but the end of the year, so to speak, for the season going into 2022, what are you expecting? What are you feeling? Are you ready to tackle the rest of this season?
My overall goal is to catch Brett and hopefully be able to top him for the points for once. I've been chasing him the past 2 seasons, and it's a challenge, and that's what I love about it, is the challenge and being able to have such a great group of guys here in this league that I can run with, knowing what to expect from everybody. And it's a respect thing. I absolutely love it here. Couldn't ask for a better group of guys. And, of course, having you guys on board broadcasting for us, I got the broadcast sitting next to me, as I always do. I go back and watch it later in the week, and it's always awesome to be able to watch.
I appreciate it, Eric. Now, with that in mind, and before I let you go here tonight, is there anyone watching the broadcast, anyone at home that you want to give a shout-out to or thank for tonight's win before you head out of 2021 and into 2022?
Well, as always, first thing I gotta thank God for giving me another day on this lovely earth. I mean it, and I gotta thank my sponsors, league sponsors, Mtn Dew, Tagare, of course, as you know, not just league sponsor, but my team sponsor as well. My teammate Skip wasn't able to make it here. Shout out to him. My family, my wife, my kids, my parents. Just everybody in the league. It's an awesome feeling to be able to get a hold of a win here.
Absolutely, Eric. It was a hard-fought battle, and you definitely earned it, Eric. Congratulations on your win here tonight, and hopefully we can see you take away another win going into 2022, and hopefully we'll see you contend for Brett Hahn in the points leadership.
Going to do my best, and I'm going to take them as they come. I mean, I'm excited. I feel much more confident in this car than I did in the Supers. Not that I felt bad in those, but I grew up in modified country. Just a quick side note. I'm originally from Massachusetts, so these are the cars that I grew up watching and knowing very well.
Well, hopefully we're going to see a battle for the points championship towards the end of the season between one Eric Papanow and Brett Hahn. Eric, thank you for coming out here and talking with me in the booth tonight. Congratulations on your win, and I look forward to seeing you in 2022. Geez, I'm going to have to work on that. And the rest of American Sim Racing Club. Thank you for joining me here tonight, Eric.
Thank you, as always.
All right. Have a good one, Eric. All right. That is going to be Eric Papanow, our race winner for round number 3, our final race of 2021 for the Mtn Dew Modified Tour, proudly presented to you by Tagare Property Management. My name is Mason Heimbaugh with Team Goon Squad, bringing you tonight's action. I hope you all enjoyed, and if you did, please hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, to stay tuned and catch up on all the action that we have here on Team Goon Squad throughout the week. And before I let everyone go as well, I would like to also mention that if you head on over to teamgoonsquad.com, check out some of the merch that we have there. We have both Team Goon Squad merch as well as league merchandise that if you purchase any league-specific merchandise, for example, if you want to head over to teamgoonsquad.com and purchase yourself a coffee mug with the American Sim Racing Club logo, or even the Mtn Dew Modified Tour logo, I'll have to check if that's there yet. You can purchase that, and 50% of the profit will go directly back to the league to support future endeavors. It's our way here at Team Goon Squad to try and support the leagues that we work with to continue to do what they do, and let us continue to do what we do with them as well. Again, thank you all for coming here tonight. I hope you all enjoyed tonight's action. Tune in 2022. I believe the first date will be, it should be the 5th of January. That'll be in 2022 for the round 4 of the Mtn Dew Modified Tour. Everyone, have a great Christmas. Have a great New Year's. Enjoy your holidays and enjoy the time off if you are having time off. And I will see you all in 2022. Thank you all for watching.
Driver Carrington gets dumped by Benami. The leaders are winding up here. Daytona's a pit. What is out?